Welcome to another episode of Creators Corner. I'm your host, James Dale, and this is AKS. How you doing this morning?
Hello, good morning, everyone. Hi, James. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming.
Yes.
AKS is the co-founder of Just Creatives, also the CEO of Just Creatives. She was born in Queens, New York, and lived in Brooklyn for 3 years of her life. She moved to Connecticut with her parents for a better education. She started her professional career as a student at Oliver Wolcott Technical High School and continued to hone her craft after graduation. She earned a bachelor's of fine arts and minor in psychology from the University of Hartford, where she started Just Creatives in 2018. AKS is furthering her education after a 1 year hiatus, pursuing a master's degree in psychology from GCU. AKS specializes in installations that transform physical spaces into an immersive environment, drawing inspiration from architecture, psychology, and the human experience. She leverages and incorporates her deep understanding of human psychology gained from ongoing studies in psychology into her artistic creations and projects, adding layers of meaning and enhancing the emotional impact of her work. This allows for a more profound connection with her viewers, stimulating meditation and fostering a deeper understanding of the human experience. Her installations captivate and engage her audience by combining various mediums, materials, and interactive elements. She constructs captivative narratives that invites viewers to explore, question, and reflect upon their surroundings. I can attest to this because I just attended the third annual Just Creatives event in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and it reminded me of a exhibit at the Guggenheim. This artist, he was a German artist, and his theme was the five senses, right? So he took the viewers on a journey of his transformation, and he had one portion where it was just a bathroom, a public bathroom with newspaper and graffiti and everything, and each one of those transformations brought you along to his journey in life. And the last one was a screen where this is very graphic, but he cut off his tongue. You know what I mean? And it went through all of those stages. So your Just Creatives meeting, it brought people their all of their senses, because you had the meditation in the beginning, you had the guests there draw. We looked at arts, both paintings and sketches and film, and creative pieces, and music was involved, so everybody was able to incorporate that and feel all of the pieces. I know, as an artist myself, I felt everything. I felt engaged, I felt included in the Just Creators meeting that was just happened a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So I applaud you for doing things like that, because we as creatives have to include everybody in the piece. It's not just about the artist, even though the artist should have a spotlight to showcase their talent, and people should give their praise and their appreciation for people such as yourself that hone their crafts. But emerging the audience into the piece, it makes people more creative. It brings people into space to say, I can do this. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
important.
Thank you so much. Like, I appreciate that, like, commentation, because you explaining to me how you feel in the space and everything. That's really what the space is about. As Just Creators now, it's blossomed into an online community. As we started as a club at the University of Hartford, like you said, in 2019, we were trying to figure out, well, me, myself, thinking, how do we connect the schools together? I'm in the art school, but I'm also a psychology minor. So going through the art school and the psychology school, I'm seeing all these different creatives, people that love to draw, people that they do photography, they do videography, music production, these all these great things. And I'm trying to figure out how do we connect with each other. So I'm like, let's make a club. I want to make a club that's for creatives. We don't have to call ourselves artists because at the time I'm studying art. What is studying fine art? You're trying to understand the elements and all the technicalities of what art is and all the great masters before you. Not everybody knows that. Not everybody can retain that.
Mhm.
So, you're creative regardless because you make something. Doesn't mean you have to go to school for 4 years, doesn't mean you have to go to all these different programs, but going to a community where people can learn off of each other and you working at your craft as you are and you're doing the best at what you could do, you're helping people at the same time. That's really what it's about. And now that it's growing into an online community, more people are working online. We have Instagram now. We use all these different um, social medias to get our word out. But sometimes we get lost in the fact that yes, this is a place where we can share our creations, but how can we work and create something that we could profit off of, that we can use to make something better in the world, like sustainability. How can we make a message greater than ourselves? We work together to make these creations. And when we have these in-person events, it's a place for us to use our connectivities, like these Zoom meetings. We could talk to each other. If we have an idea, I'm a photographer, I could shoot that idea for you when we come to this grand event, so we could work together and we could perform in a way to showcase that. And this really what it's about, bringing the people together, because not everyone knows how to have a CV or create a artist platform on their social media. We got to come together to figure out, hey, how can I show you how to make a proper Instagram page where viewers are going to come and they want to stay on your page? How can we make a document that showcases your work, your best work, and show it to prospective clients? This is a place where we come together, we hold these meetings so that we can showcase what we all learned collectively and help each other build together. That's
And
really what
that's
that's
and
been
that's
doing.
important because the times have changed and the way we get our work out, it has changed. And just like you said, we have to move along with the times. And 9 times out of 10, interviews are not just based off handing your interview or a sheet of paper of what you have accomplished. You can use your or they have you use your social media platforms to see what have you put forth into the world. And if you are a creative, your social media platforms 10 times out of 10 is your signature, is what you have done in the past, present, and what you will do and accomplish in the future. So we have to keep engaged, and we have to use all of these mediums to get our work out and our personalities and move along with the times and connect with each other. We shouldn't be afraid to be a creative. Being an artist shouldn't be a bad word. I remember back in my day, I'm probably older than you are, saying that you were going to be an artist or a musician was a bad word. Your parents would look at you weird, like, what are you doing? You're going to throw away your life to be an
Yeah,
artist? You know what I mean?
I feel
So
you. I really feel
nowadays, with these mediums now, the world is closer, you know what I mean? And
you.
you don't necessarily have to go to a studio to get your work produced. We could work with each other and put your work out there and have the world judge your work and experience your talent. You know what I mean? So using the times, I'm going to say COVID was a gift and a curse because it forced people to communicate with each other via Zoom, via social media, and that has carried over after the pandemic. And we should continue on connecting the world and make it smaller, so the world wouldn't be a big place. You don't necessarily have to have a passport to go to Japan or to go to the Middle East or India or anything like that. You know what I mean? You can go on social
Everything is in
media
our
and
hands, our
connect that way.
palm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I totally get it. We can't shy away from the technology. Like I grew up not being around computers up until middle school, but at the end of the day, everyone growing up now has a phone. Everyone has
Mhm.
access to the internet. So you got to figure out as a creative, how can you don't get like how do you not get lost in this communicative system? You want to make sure that your profile stands out in all cases.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean you have to be on social media all the time. That's why when we create these communities like Just Creatives, you can come out to these events when you're near these places so you can meet these people in real life. We cut out that middle part, like
Mhm.
we're seeing all these different people that we're following on Instagram, like where's the filter? The filter is real life. And you
Mhm.
want to showcase your art. You want to make money off your art. You want to be around people that want to work. You want to work with these people that want to work. You want to build a better place for yourselves and people around you and for your own future. So that way, like when these things are coming up, like we have AI, we're talking about AI, we can't shy away from it. How can you use AI to, you know, understand the technologies that are coming forth around you? Don't shy away from the things that are coming. And when you're looking at just the past, like after COVID, like you said, we're after COVID now, so it's really like, how are you pushing yourself forward? Because back then when we were a club at the University of Hartford, we were having these meetings and we were able to see each other face to face, and then we were forced to be online. And then that's when we really created this online community where people were able to jump on whenever they could, and we would talk and we would just talk about what we're creating now and what we plan for the future. And we kind of give each other ideas and critiques on how we can build different things and build different areas of the world. We're adults, so we want to see the future, and it starts with us. We have to build it, and creators create, and whatever that means to you is that's how you build it. So
That's true. That's true. So, does your affinity for psychology dictate your artwork, or does your artwork deepen your adoration for psychology?
that's a good question. I mean, I'm a psychology major right now. I'm studying, as you said, and I believe that everything goes like I just flow with the journey of life. So, I mean, right now there's a huge climate crisis, and that's something that I'm really passionate about, being that I live here and it's getting too hot when I believe it shouldn't be, and too cold when those kind of things. And I'm living in New York City, all the garbage that's around. I'm like, I'm a person just like anyone else. I can throw my garbage in a garbage bin, or we can create more garbage bins with our hands. We can take benches that are broken down and pieces of scrap metal, and we can bend it together with our tools and we can make a bin. You know what I'm saying? The creatives in us have the power to build the future that we want to see. So when I'm talking about climate change and psychology, the things that are happening in life is psychology.
Mhm.
Everything is happening for a reason. And when we see the things around us and we really look at it, we're just analyzing really what's happening to us. And when you're aware of what's happening to you, you have the ability to change that. So yes, in a way, my art, it really displays where I am at the time and a place, or the feeling or emotion that I'm feeling. And yes, a lot of my work has to do with climate change and feeling the space that you're in and understanding the space that you're in. Yeah.
Everything coincides together. I like that
Yeah.
that you tied in the human experience with your artwork, because 10 times out of 10 the artist has a feeling, and they can't sleep with that feeling or that thought or that creative inspiration, and they have to go through a medium to get out that creativity, that thought process that they have. So being that uh, said, what inspired you, or who inspired you to be an artist?
Hmm. Interesting question. I believe I was always an artist. I mean, I was always creative in a way. Like I always knew that I wanted to do photography since my father, he he always had cameras. So I was passed down the cameras. I always loved to play with them. And I just never stopped playing with them. And I always was fascinated with the technology. Every time the technology got faster, I wanted to update with it. So that being said, photography is my main medium.
Mhm.
I love to paint as well. Recently, I'm getting more into bigger canvases, and just I don't know if I went off your question a little
No,
bit,
no, no.
but
You answering
uh,
the question. Yeah. You said
yeah,
your dad inspired you. Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool. So, was your dad a professional photographer, or did he just dabble in photography?
dabbled in it, but I mean, I would call him a professional because he had the whole setup. I mean, he didn't have a dark room, but he went to get the photos developed and everything. He always kept the negatives and that kind of thing.
Yeah, for
So
me, I like the process of photography. Just like yourself, I grew up in the Bronx, and I moved to Connecticut after I finished college for a better way of living, because cost of living in New York was pretty expensive, and my parents and we moved out to Connecticut to enjoy the fruits of our labor, and I landed a job as a photographer. I used to do school photography, the yearbooks and things of that nature, and proms and stuff like that. And what I loved about that process was uh, putting the subject in place, and allowing them to pose, and whether it was candid or just something that I told them to do. And the best part of that process was going into the dark room and developing said pictures, because it made you connect with the camera, it made you connect with the paper, it made you connect with the moment that you captured with the camera. And that meant a lot more, because you appreciated the medium and how far, just like you said, the signs of the times, how far the technology came from back in the 1900s, before the industrial revolution, and where people just took a one-off picture with a light, and that was it. After that light bulb blew, you had to set it up again in order to take another picture and to see where it came from to where it is now. Every phone has a camera, and you don't necessarily have to develop the camera. At least it is individuals like you that love the process of traditional photography, and would love to go into the dark room and develop those pictures. And for the audience out there that don't know about photography, could you, because you said that is your go-to medium, explain the process of photography, from the taking a picture to going into the dark room and developing it?
yeah, yeah, okay. So that's a deep question.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, first it starts with the subject. I mean, you pick up a subject not just willingly, but your mind just for some reason something connects to you, and if it's a person, you're connecting with the person. If it's a literal corner of a room, for some reason the corner of the room is giving you an energy that you resonate with. So when you pick up the camera, you shoot it. And I mean, depending on who you are or which camera you're using, if you're using digital, you're probably shoot. I mean, I don't know how much time we have. We shoot in digital, we can shoot digital until your heart's content. But if you have an analog or just a film photo, you should shoot once, you hold on to it, you hope it's the same one that you thought in your mind. And then when you're going to develop, you just you take that photo and you go in the dark room. It's been a while since I've been in the dark room. Thinking about it now, I want to get in the dark room again. But you get in
Yeah.
that dark room, and it's just a moment with the camera because you want to make sure you take the film out correctly. If you don't take the film out correctly, then the whole thing's messed up. So you got to take that film out. You put it in. Develop it, and there's the process with that. You got to spin it on a reel and you got to make sure it's right. And you don't want to crack the film, and you got to snip the right part at the bottom. And I mean, I could go into details, but I'm pretty sure visuals would be easier to see.
Mm-hmm.
because it's in the dark. So me explaining it is going to be a little for the viewers, but they can check it on YouTube, darkroom analog photography. You're sitting in the dark room and you're just praying that the photos are good, and then once they develop, you have all your chemicals and they develop, you get a reel, and those are your beautiful images if you do it right.
So
But
with the analog photography, can you make
mhm.
copies of an individual snapshot, or do you have to take that snapshot again? How does that work?
Well, so if you want to develop your images, if you have a reel, you can make several, you could print them, master print them,
Mhm.
uh, and you could get developed paper. It's paper that you can't expose to light. Once you're in the dark room, there's a machine. I'm not exactly sure what the machine is called, but you use the machine to adjust the light settings, amount of light times, how much light goes inside of a little tiny, like a lens, kind of like a camera lens. And then you put the light inside the thing and it exposes it for a certain amount of seconds. It prints it on the paper, and the paper is the image, but you have to make sure you do it backwards. Like you print the image backwards. It's like it's definitely a process. You have to make sure you're doing everything right. That's why it's called master printing.
There you go. Yeah.
But you gotta get that. But that's one image. That's one piece of paper, one sheet of paper, one image. And if you lined it up correctly, that will be an image like you're seeing here. But you want to make sure you want to get copies, so you have to keep everything the same, leveled everything, light level, temperature the same. And once you put another sheet of paper in there and expose it, then you get another copy. And after you I'm explaining it, but it's still a process, because once you get that paper, it's not just showing up. It's not like you're in the light and you can see the paper. You have to take that sheet of paper and you have to also put that through a dipping series processes, light, fixture, stop, and remover, to get that image to show up on the paper. But that's just black and white. That's not even color. So
Wow. So it's a different process for color. And I
yeah,
know
it's a separate
at
process.
your the Just Creatives, the third annual Just Creatives event, that you had a few images that you explained to us as the audience that were exposures. The
Yes.
process of doing just like you just explained of putting an image on the paper. So I think that is cool because I saw your piece and you explained it there at the event, and hearing you explain it now, it's etched in my mind more so, and I appreciate the process of photography more so because it is a meticulous process and you can't make the mistake. Just like you said, that's why they call it master printing, because if you make a mistake, if you sneeze, the picture, the exposure can be out of focus, and you have to start the process all again, which segues me to the next question I have. Are all your pieces meticulously planned out, or is just spur of the moment?
So I would say the process of developing and showing it is definitely meticulous, but sometimes the creative process part of it is just right in the moment. So I mean, one day I could be walking down the street and I'll be like inspired by like one image, but then I'll make an entire reel out of it, or like a series of photos that I've taken from just a couple days walks, and like, oh, these are really nice. I'll go on my Instagram and I'll make an entire reel out of that feeling or that emotion. So that's kind of like what I've been doing on like a daily basis, but I'm really trying to promote my website even more and really have all these images and videos that I'm working on my website. It's AKS editions.com if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, giving that leeway to just showcasing everything on my website and making sure that my website is professional, and also giving these having these outside events so I could showcase my work and also give other people a chance to showcase work is really what it's about. I want to be in a place where other people are working and they want to show what they're working on, and we can talk about what we're doing together. And that's what really gets me excited, and it really wants me to really inspires me to work more, and really makes me want to really do more with people.
Okay, that's cool. Does your beliefs affect your creativity?
Can you repeat that question?
Does your beliefs affect your creativity?
Oh, I mean, I would say yes.
Mhm.
I'm very spiritual, and I believe that like everything is everything is everything. So, I mean, that's the basics of it. God created us, and we're all here for a reason. And as a creator, I love to do photography. That's my medium.
Mhm.
So that's what I do. That's how I show my experience on Earth. That's how I showcase how I'm feeling, my emotions, and other people have different ways of showcasing how they feel. And I just hope that everyone knows how to do it in a positive way. That's my goal, is to push positivity and just make sure that when people are hurting, they can show how they're hurting, but help another person hurting, and we can use our mediums in that way to help each other out and build a better future.
That's great. There's a saying that says we have two lives, you know, the moment that we were born and the moment that we realize why. What was that um, proverbial aha moment where you said, okay, I'm going to be AKS? You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I've always been myself. I've always been this person where I knew I was different. People didn't really include me, and just all those kind of things. But I never like shied away from it. But recently, actually 2 years ago, I was in this car accident, and I really almost could have lost my life. And I I recovered from it all through just building Just Creatives. I was really all about Just Creatives and being around people. I wanted to be around people more than anything else. I didn't know what else to do but to build myself so that people would want to be around me, because I I wanted to be in a space of positivity where people can just come and we can talk about things and work on things together. And that was what I wanted the most. And it's growing to it's growing to me and other people to see how we've built from just a club to an online community, growing with the times, just being able to move past something that was so horrible. Like, so many people were just sick and not doing well, and we want to be here for each other. So building Just Creatives and the people that are still here today, building it and growing with it and having fun with it, it's just something that I'm just so blessed to see. And I was just I would say that I would say
We all
that.
should be appreciative of having life, you know, because tomorrow is not promised, and the one thing that will stay indefinitely in the world, unless we have a zombie apocalypse, then everything is going to go haywire. But is our creations, you know what I mean? So if you have a painting, or if you have a sculpture, if you have, you know, photography or a movie, or a book or anything, that's going to last a lifetime, you know, and then other generations could appreciate your creativity, and you can be reborn each time someone picks up your piece and be able to appreciate it. So I appreciate people such as yourself who take the time out to think about what they put out in the world, because it's important, because you are inspiring other people to be the best versions of themselves. And if you put garbage out, you get garbage in. Or if you put garbage out, people take that garbage in, and then you inspire other people to do the wrong thing. But if you are the best versions of yourself and you shine the brightest that you can, you 100% are going to put out there the light that people have to be who they are at the optimal level. You know, you have your flesh and you have your higher self. You know, if you are constantly your higher self, people are forced to be their higher selves. You know, I work with the public and I tend to say hello, good morning. You know what I mean? And I smile at people and it's infectious. You know what I mean? It's but so long somebody can be angry. You know what I mean? They have to let it go. And implementing psychology with art, it forces people to get out of their comfort zone and release that pain. You know what I mean? I write poetry, and the reason why I wrote poetry is to get over a trauma. You know, my dad passed away when I was a kid, and I wrote poetry, and taking that pain that I felt and put it on paper, I noticed that, you know, the pain that I felt was on that paper. You know what I mean? I did no longer have that pain. So it's important for us to be creative, to have something outward, because it helps us, you know what I mean, relieve the pain, relieve the stress. And, you know, the message that I want to put out there is that you are not alone. There's more people out there that are creatives. There's more people out there that are forward-thinking people. And you as an individual are not alone. You are not alone. Michael Jackson didn't just make the song because he wanted to make money. It was a message to everybody that you can reach out, just like you, AKS, and trying to have these meetings and these online forums, so people can have a place to know that they can go to and they can be themselves. You know, so this is your floor. Anything that you have that is current, that's out there, anything that you want to promote, anything, any message that you want to give out to the people, talk to them. It's your time.
All right. I mean, I I'm just so thankful that I could be here today and that you're giving me the space and the time to just talk. And really, James, I really appreciate this. Like people like you, we need more people like you. Like I appreciate the creatives corner, and this is I feel like this is the huddle, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, that's what I
this
wanted
goes
to
out.
create it for, the huddle, so
Yeah.
we can get together and we can play this
Yeah,
game and we can win together, not as
absolutely.
individual. We winning together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about together. Like nobody does it alone. Trust me. Just creators did not, I did not do this by myself. Yes, I thought of the idea, but other people were around me to inspire me, to help me grow through it, to help, we all grew through it. We all may be doing our separate things now, but Just Creators will always be a community of people. And now it's a business, a
Mhm.
network of people. It's an entire network of online creatives. Our goal is to have everyone who is a member be on the website. Everyone will have a platform and something will come to you. You know what I'm saying? If you're on a big platform, the chances of you being seen is greater than you being by yourself. And that's just a fact, because now we have to work together. Online theories are really just how big can you communicate? How far does your message spread? That's really the main thing now. So I encourage everyone who's watching to look at our website. If this really feels like something that you are, a creative, a person who's an entrepreneur, or someone who's really respecting their craft, and you really seriously want to work, you just want to work. Like it's not about just, I want to do this for money. It's not about money. It's you love what you do, and you're creating to spread a positive message of people coming together and making sure that everyone's getting food, and those kind of things. The necessary things are the messages we're trying to spread. Like that's our work. Our work showcases what's happening around us. And if we can build a community where people can see that, physically see the online presence of these people working, because there's so many of us online. We have 700 followers, and these people are watching the content. These people are watching the content. And if we have all these people come out and we all support each other, we can build something so much greater than us. And that's the message I want to really put out there. But it starts with one person, you know what I'm saying? One person, you bring your friend will bring another friend. Even if you can't make it there, go to the next one. We have plenty of online meetings, and we love to have people come on and talk about what they're doing, just like this. This is all Just Creators is about. We just want to make sure that people have a platform to speak. and make sure that they have a way of creating and bringing the positivity that is in their heart out in the world online, because that's really how we're progressing in life now. So
That's
yeah,
great. So I thank you guys. I thank you, AKS. And this
thank
is
you.
another episode of Creatives Corner. My name is James Dale, and this is AKS. And I see you on the next one. Peace.
Yes, thank you guys. Bye.